Good afternoon and welcome to Neuro Strategic Coach Live, our first section of today. I'm Coach Mario Garcia and this is Dr. Mario Garcia. We are with the Neuro Strategic Coaching Institute.
Neuro Strategic Coaching Institute is celebrating its 20th year anniversary. And as part of this new series, we're just giving back content. What we traditionally do is we serve as executive leadership coaches for businesses and teams, as well as trainers for coaches and legacy leadership individuals that want to take their leadership in business or in their organizations to the next level, or in their ministry, whatever the case may be.
So we've decided to do this live show every 2 weeks. We figured bi-weekly was enough time to obviously give everyone, a break from us, and but at the same time giving back some useful and meaningful content and covering a wide range of topics and things going on in the world. We've been kind of open to suggestions from other individuals. So if there's something you want us to talk about, by all means. Other than that, we definitely wanted to bring some light onto what we're seeing as hope and hope for future, hope for what's going to be going on and all that. So our section today and our topic today is holding on to hope.
Holding on to hope. It's extremely important. And so we're going to define what hope is. And by the end of our conversation today, we're going to give you some actual best practices.
And some action items, right? So what's the definition of hope? So we can't talk about what something is or isn't without knowing what it is, right? So we have here the dictionary definitions, the verb to want something to happen or be the case, and the noun, a feeling of expectation and desire for a certain thing to happen.
Good old Webster.
So now what are we looking at here specifically? Is it okay to hope or not? Now that depends on what your focus is. So is the question, is it to hope or not to hope?
That is the question.
Because as we think about it, is it okay to hope? Are we focusing on something that's positive if we're just hoping for it or not?
Well, and a lot of people talk about it. There's I see a lot of signs in different places. Certainly what's going on in the world today has provoked this topic. And so the question is, to hope or not to hope? You have to answer it for yourself. Do you have hope on a meter, on a scale from 0 to 5, where 5 is my hope is on an all-time high, or perhaps 0? You've got to answer for yourself. And we're encouraging you to obviously get to that 5 if you're not there right now. And this is what we're going to talk about today. So let's drive it forward.
So to hope or not to hope, it's all about where your focus is. Where's your focus specifically? Are you actively hoping, but are you actually doing and taking action items and putting things in place to validate that hope? Because hope without the action is really what could be an issue, or be, part of one of your blockers or one of your limitations.
That could be just hopium. People have hopium that it's kind of like a drug. I'm hopeful of this, I'm hopeful of that, but you really don't see any results. And so is that actually having hope at all?
And here's another question. Are people losing hope? Depends on what you're watching. Depends on what news station you're watching. I mean, we're not conspiracy theorists, but we're being told what people are fearful of, or we're being told what to fear. I mean, I almost feel like there's a lot of fear mongering going on, but are people genuinely losing hope? It depends.
Well, when you see all the negative media coverage, or maybe you've had a series of bad days, even before COVID-19, you're thinking, man, I can't catch a break. I'm fighting to get to my dream. You don't see any sense of progress. You just don't feel that passion anymore. You're not engaged. You're not enthusiastic. Or maybe you had a breakup. Maybe you lost your job even during this entire process. The word furlough comes to mind. It's part of struggle. People are having disappointments, challenges, setbacks, and it's part of sustaining and making through all of this, and at the same time maintaining hope. For some people, it's a fairy concept.
I mean, when you think about it, what's going on? What are we hoping for? For things to go back to normal, for things to return the way they were? I mean, a lot of people having, given, unfortunately, for those who've lost their jobs and have some of these more difficult issues, it's understandable. But for others, it's like, well, I'm able to get back in contact with X, Y, Z, my family. I'm seeing the silver lining and the benefit of this. So are people losing hope? No, but some people are gaining a lot of things. So it's about seeing the silver lining or the benefits on what's going on in the situation for yourself. But people, in fact,
It is a
Really?
psychological concept. I mean, it's a need to believe that we can endure that psychological need and that we can accomplish, that we can succeed, that we can thrive, and we can have our way in the world, whatever our model of the world is, so that we can accomplish our dreams and that we can influence, because you cannot not influence. What we
True.
see is people that are perhaps lost in the storm. They're not hopeful. They're not making a difference. So you can either be a warning or an example. If you want to be an example, then you're obviously going to juice up your hope. And it's where people are today, Mario.
Yeah, and more importantly, what's behind that hope? What's behind the
Mm-hmm.
want for the change? What's behind whether it's for progression, right? Because we should look not to get things back to normal. Normal doesn't exactly excite most people. I can't wait for things to get back to normal. Maybe, perhaps, but not normalcy isn't something you strive for. I can't wait to go on vacation so things can be normal. No, you go on vacation because it's exciting. You
Mm-hmm.
go on vacation for its experiences. So that's something that we can talk about. But normalcy itself, which we'll go to in a minute, is not exactly something that's sought after. And so as we look forward, what's behind the hope? What's there? Is there action being taken? Are you really maximizing what you're doing at home or what you're doing on your spare time? For those people who've been furloughed, for those people who've been laid off, where's your head at? You know, oh, I just
Right.
lost my job. No one's hiring. I've heard this from a couple people. So no one's hiring. But those who are truly trying to bounce back and show their resiliency are, hey, I signed up for Uber Eats right when I got home when I lost my job. People want food.
Mm-hmm.
People want Chipotle. No plug intended, unless you want to send me a burrito. But there are options. I know Amazon was hiring, so there is still hope and there is still opportunity for those who want to look for it. Because what's good, as we always say, what's good, it will always be there, and what's bad will be there too. What
That's
are you
right.
What are you going to look at?
It's what you're going to focus on. And it's definitely a question of whether hope for you is a feeling or whether it's an intuition. And when we talk about feeling, we're talking about emotions. If you're plugged into media and listening to all of the negative and dark news, then perhaps you're going to choose and decide to be sad. So then hope is probably going to be less in your scale, in your meter.
Yes.
Versus an intuition is, connected to the creativity, created, the assurance of things. I have faith in, faith, hope, and love are intertwined.
Mm-hmm.
It's inexplicably intertwined, but it conquers all. So it's going with that intuition. It's that other sense that you can create, that you can design, or whether you're just going on your feelings and you're just reacting. Oh my God, I didn't get my stimulus check yet, like you did.
I still haven't got my.
I know.
I ain't got my
I got
stimulus.
mine. But we're here. We're here. We're creating. We're designing. As a matter of fact, since quarantine, we have actually continued to harness and serve our clients. We were on Zoom and virtual prior to Corona, so it's not a new thing for us, but we've just looked at other ways that we can add value to ourselves, our families, our clients, and put into practice everything that we've taught in the last 2 decades.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much. And I'm seeing some of your comments. Thank you so much. Yeah, there we go. Kenneth, a little arm flex in there. If anything, we've been trying to stay active. Appreciate that. And Joe Broadwell, what's happening, brother? Good to see you guys on. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
We appreciate you guys tuning in and staying with us. So let's talk about this phrase that we're hearing a lot, and it's the new normal.
Wow.
So we talked about normalcy in a little bit, and is that really intriguing? Is that really something exciting for most people to get back to normal? And for some, it might be, because it might mean, just going back to your 9 to 5 and then going back and watching The Masked Singer and then heating up your frozen dinner or ordering your Postmates and doing that. But is this the new normal? I don't care what it is, because that's not for me. I'm looking for something beyond that. I'm looking for something greater than. I never want to get things back to normal. I never want to get my marriage back to normal or my relationships back to normal, because that's something in the past. And if I'm waiting to get back to normal, then I'm just walking around backwards looking at what's happened and not what's ahead of me.
Right.
So the new normal, whether that's, however that you want to adapt that language into your life, but I'm kind of canceling that out, deleted. We didn't plan that. But why would you hope for something to get back to normal when it can be something much greater? Look for something beyond normal. Create a vision, whether it's you've heard some of these phrases, whether it's a vision board, whether it's a plan, you have enough time now, you have enough opportunities, right? If something's happened that's drastic, we understand that, but where are you going to go from now? If you lost your job, if you lost everything, or if you've been, promoted to teacher, barber, house cleaner, and all these things all at the same time on a daily basis, we get it. But what is next for you? Because normal isn't something I'm searching for. I'm searching for something greater.
See, hope is something that is generated by us. So when we talk about new normal, is creating a new masterpiece. You have the canvas, you have the quill, you get to do it. If you're waiting for someone else to define what that new normal is going to look like for you, I dare to say you're going to be in trouble. So it's just like when your phone is dying, your smartphone, which may not be that smart, but it is, you plug it in, you charge it up, and guess what? When your hope is dying, it's time to reset, generate, charge it up again. Same thing with happiness. Same thing with enthusiasm. Same thing with passion. It's about moving forward, not looking through your rearview mirror at life, not what happened. You may have lost your job. I get it. We've had losses in the family in New York City, can't go to funerals, nothing to obviously work with that situation. But what we can do is we can celebrate life. We are here. And so hope is just like that energy that you need to charge. Create the new normal means you get to define what it is that you want, what it is that you need. Now, people sometimes need to get perspective on what the distinctions are. What you need is what you need in the next 90 days, what you need in the next 6 months, or perhaps a year. What you want is that dream. Perhaps there's a dream that you've already released. You lost hope. And because of COVID, you said to yourself, oh, now it's really not going to happen. But you know what? I've coached in this past week several of my executives that have gone beyond their own expectations because they've decided that they're going to do something different. They're realtors, they're executives, they're attorneys. They're moving forward because they're doing what? They're recharging and they're resetting and saying, this direction is the way I'm focusing on. Where focus goes, that's where I'm going to place my attention. So I'm going to create that new normal instead of reacting and complaining, blaming people, blaming Trump, blaming the Democrats, the Republicans. It's not going to get you anything. You cannot affect what happens in Washington, but you can certainly affect by creating and designing what you want, what do you need, and ask yourself the very important question. What is stopping you, right? Is it crisis? Is it confusion? Is it conflict? Or is it perhaps a product of your own emotions? Guess what? We've got to learn how to master our emotions and take control, Coach.
Yep. And it's all about whether you're going to be at cause or be in the effect. You hear this, it's a common principle that we teach in all of our trainings, but are you at cause or are you in effect? Are you in control or are you just responding to everybody else? Are you just waiting for something to happen? I don't know about you, but the stimulus check that I haven't gotten yet, which I guess I'm in the effect about it because I'm complaining
still.
But am I in control or not? Is that $1,200 going to make or break? Is that going to even pay my rent in its entirety once? No. But am I in control of the situation? Yeah. So although I bring it up, is it really going to help all of America? Is it nice? Sure. Is it great? Sure. If they vetoed it and denied it from the beginning, what else would you be focused on? Because our minds would be full of whatever else we wanted it to be. So whether we got $1,200 or $1,700 for our dependents or whatnot, what are you going to focus on? And are you at cause? Something happened. Cool. How do you bounce back? How are you choosing to respond?
What did you learn from it? A lot of people, quote unquote, lose hope because their focus just goes off the rails. They become very myopic to their own ego, their own emotional reality, their own tiny little world, and they miss the joy, the abundance, the connection, the incredible energy of this buoyant and jubilant world around us. And it's about daring to dream big, taking that next level. This is why we're here today. We want you to dare to dream big, to create your own masterpiece, to take your life, your business, your relationship to that next level. Guess what? You get to define it. If you continue to allow social media, the government, your employer, whether you got the stimulus check or not, to define who you are.
I didn't get it.
or your world, guess what's going to happen? You're going to go into emotional spiral. Cancel, delete, doesn't apply. It's crisis. So the question is,
where do we go from here?
Where do we go?
How do you respond? Let's get real cheesy on here. What's the next chapter in your story going to be when you write it? But realistically, what are you going to do now? Whether you have to search for a new career, whether you're waiting for the magical date that your job told you they're going to open the doors and let everyone back or whatnot, what do we do now? It's your decision. See, the ball's in your court, and how you respond now is probably a testament to how you responded in the past. So, and what are we going to do with changing our history and rewriting it there? But realizing that, hey, if I kind of look back at how I've done things before, it hasn't really supported me either. Take the time to realize what you've done may not work, so it can actually maybe motivate you to do something different this time. Because is really going back to that normal what you want? Not sure. It might be.
It might.
If you were making money and you got furloughed, then I get it, sure. But where do we go from here? It's a response. How are you going to respond? What are you going to focus on? These are all questions you have to ask yourself. And above and beyond, what role am I playing in this current situation?
Oh, there you go. I think it's about managing expectations.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's, again, we say this and we're going to say it again in this broadcast. Stop arguing for your limitations. Because when we argue for our limitations, obviously we're reacting. Right. So we want to create, we want to design. So where do we go from here?
So when we say stop arguing for your limitations, that means stop justifying why you are where you are, or why your body's the way it is,
or why you're getting what you haven't gotten or what you are receiving.
Right? Because you get in what you put in. So what are you putting in?
Ooh.
You can't, I use this example a lot, but everyone wants to win the lottery, but nobody plays, right?
Well, we don't because of our belief system, but
it's not
for those who do,
not exactly the most easy way to make money.
No, not at all.
So let's talk about some action steps. So what can we focus on as we move forward?
Oh, as we move forward, hope is about being active and not passive. If you think that you're going to energize your project, your dream, your relationship, your business, whatever, your physical life, your health, by being passive, it's not going to happen. It's about taking action. It's about taking massive action each and every day. In order to do that, you've got to be in the right mindset.
Yeah.
You've got to look forward. What is it that you want to see? What is it that you want to hear? And how do you want to feel 90 days from now, 6 months from now, a year from now? During this time, people say, well, the gym is closed. Well, the gym is closed. Guess what? I did a virtual Ironman and it was virtual and it was me.
I have a friend of mine. I have a friend of mine who said, I Googled prison workouts and that's what I'm doing now.
Wow.
So I don't know how authentic the prison yard workouts are, but
pretty hard, I would say.
You can invent your own workouts. Like we always say, a couple of gallons of milk, a broomstick, you got a little bench, there's something you can do. And ultimately, even if it's not working out, getting outside, getting in touch with nature, just going outside, getting some vitamin D, getting some sun, getting out of the house a little bit, obviously, you need to wear your mask in certain areas, but this is the time we're in. But is it a new normal? No.
I don't know. One of the things that we did when this thing started, being active, is we went down our roll for every single one of our alumni and our current students. We called them, emailed them, sent them texts, checked in on them. Yesterday, I was going back through my roster of all my attorneys. I don't think I shared this with you.
No.
I called several of my colleagues, especially one who was near and dear to my heart. I found out that she had COVID-19, was hospitalized. Thank God. She came out on the other side. What is she doing? She's active. She's donating plasma for those that are actually now sick. So it's taking massive action, reconnecting with people instead of just sitting on the couch waiting for the check to come again.
Still not here.
Still not here.
Yeah.
Okay, for you. But anyway, mine came in. No worries. All right. So what's number 2?
Step 2, trust. You may have heard the phrase, and if you haven't, you're welcome. Trust the process. Trust yourself. Trust that everything you're doing, if you're doing something, and I know you'll do something, won't you? Trust that the things that you're doing are going to amount to something, right? We wouldn't do something if we didn't think we couldn't do it.
Right.
So trust in yourself. Trust that this is only temporary and is not the new normal, because there's something much better and much greater beyond your wildest dreams if you set the intention and you wake up focused on a daily basis to do it, to do the thing, whatever the thing is. Do the damn thing. Get there and just set an intention on a daily basis. Whether you can't, they say Rome wasn't built in a day, Rome wasn't built in a couple days, but everything takes steps, right? If you're dealing with something, it didn't happen overnight, most likely, right? You didn't get overweight overnight. You made a daily decision to cram those burgers down the pie hole, right? Maybe the donuts, yeah, exactly. The croquetas, or if you're Miami people, you can't avoid a bakery tray every morning in your office. But you made a decision on a daily basis to do something. Make a different decision. Make one that's going to support you. Make one that's going to make a difference positively in your life, because 40 years from now, 50 years from now, when you're 80 years old, when you're 90 years old, what are you going to want to look back and say, man, when that happened, that's when I made the decision.
That's right.
That's when I changed my own life. That's when I had enough.
And it's trusting the process. There are no microwave, quick fix, Band-Aid solutions. You just didn't wake up one day, as Coach Mario said, and had all these ailments, or were obese, or had this sickness or whatever. And we know that there's some circumstances and special cases, but what we're talking about is trusting yourself enough to take that action, to trust the process that you create, trust the strategy, and know in your heart of hearts that if you do that, you're going to come up with number 3. Guess what? You have to persist.
Yeah.
Endurance is the key.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, 2 weekends ago, I mentioned, again, the virtual. Guess what? I had to persist because it was a 3-mile run, a 26-mile-and-a-half bike, and then followed by a 6.5-mile run again in the same weekend. You have to endure. You have to make sure that you cross the finish line. You got to get it done. You just do it, like Nike says. But if you're dreaming about it and sitting on the couch and, yeah, this looks great on paper, or you're, spending all this time on the smartphone and doing the text and just talking about COVID and the stress and the story, guess what? It's not going to change.
Yeah. You got to be persistent. Not every day is going to be a win. And not every day is going to be something great. You're going to have setbacks. Unfortunately, it's just a part of life. But if we didn't know what was bad, we wouldn't know what was great.
Absolutely.
If we didn't ever feel bad, we wouldn't know what feels great and what to work for, right? Because everything we do is for a feeling. Everything we buy, everything we invest in, where we spend our time is for a feeling, whether it's positive, whether it supports us or not. If you're sidetracked because you're dusting off the old PlayStation and Xbox to get in touch with the Call of Duty or whatnot, because get back to your day, whatever it is, you're doing it to feel good, or you're doing it to not feel bad, right? Temporary escape, whatever it is, just stay persistent in going after what you want. Not every day is going to be a win, but as long as you stay consistent, the win will be there in the end, because it doesn't matter what the score is at halftime. It matters what the score is at the end of the game.
Oh, come on, tell it. And it's about endurance, because endurance produces character. And Lord knows that we need character in America today. In this world, there's a lot of people that have strayed. They strayed from their values. They're out of alignment. And so when you get back into alignment, you've got to persist. You got to move forward and stick to it. Yep. What else, Coach?
Collaborate. Now's the time. Now's the time to collaborate with other people. Now's the time to reach out. I'm sure some people have been overly collaborating with you. I've heard many things about unwanted or unwarranted FaceTimes. People are trying to collaborate and get you on the phone, but no, as far as business or even personal, if there's something you've had your eye on, if there's a dream or something you've had, reach out and touch somebody.
There you go.
Now's the time to reach out and connect with those around you, connect with a bunch of like-minded individuals, or just those who would be there and support the vision. Collaboration is also the best way for free marketing. If we collaborate with other coaches and we go live with them, what's going to happen? We're going to expand our reach. So collaborate with other people and continue to gain that sense of community, and then to stay obviously in contact with others besides the 3, 4, 5 people or who might be running circles around you in your house right now. But collaboration is key. It's going to be your key to expanding your reach and maybe even maintaining your sanity if you're locked up, even by yourself. I've heard some of my single people, my bachelors locked up in their house by themselves. I see you. Keep on trucking.
Absolutely. And look, we live in a VUCA world, right? It's full of volatility. There's a lot of uncertainty. There's complexity out there, and there's a lot of ambiguity. This was our state of the global economy before Corona. So you can imagine what this has added to it. So what it tells us is that alliances need to be made. We're networking with our friends in Mexico. We're networking with our friends in Canada and other parts of the world.
All over. And even in California, we see you, Stephanie.
There you go.
Stephanie's the mastermind. I'm just throwing that out there. This live and how swanky it looks is all compliments to this girl right here, Stephanie.
Shout out to you. Big hugs, big kisses.
My marketing expert out in California.
Absolutely.
She's the best. So.
That's how we collaborate. You know, we can't do this all by ourselves. We are a family. NSCI has a lot of brilliant thinkers, a lot better thinkers than me. Mm-hmm. Obviously, can't do it all by myself. So it's extremely important. All right. And finally, número 5. That's number 5.
Believe. You have to believe that there are better things ahead. You wouldn't do, like I was getting to earlier. I was jumping ahead. You see that? I get so excited. I don't know what to do with myself.
Your check is coming.
Yeah. You have to believe that my stimulus check's going to come. Everyone support me and send the positive vibes. But no, you have to believe that there are better things ahead.
Absolutely.
You have to envision what's going to happen. We wouldn't do things if we didn't think they were going to happen. I wouldn't get in my car and drive somewhere if I didn't think I could arrive safely. I would think to myself, okay, well, let me just do this. And I would believe I'd get there safely. So you have to believe and understand and know that what's going on right now is going to pass. This too shall pass, they say. Believe it'll happen and then make it happen.
So let's talk about belief, because belief is certainty in the thing, whatever X is. Believe in the creator, believe in your position, believe in who you are. The good book says that faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. Mm-hmm. That means I can't see it, I can't touch it, but I know the check is coming. Right?
We're worried about it.
Okay. But it's about having that certainty, because when you have that certainty, guess what? You feel that passion, you fulfill that energy. And it's again going back to the metaphor of the iPhone. When it gets low, charge it up. When you feel like you're hopeless, go outside. Maybe you need to wear your mask, whatever the case may be. You may not be able to see your neighbor smiling because they have the mask as well. Imagineer it. Think about it. Think about what you want. Be active. Trust the process. Persist. Okay? Collaborate with others. And finally, you've got to believe.
Yeah, I love this. Stephanie just dropped the belief is the certainty about the thing. What are you certain about? What do you believe in truly, right? If you wake up every morning and you are truly passionate about what you believe in, and you believe that you want to be the next, whatever it is, you want to be, whatever it is you have your heart set on, are you waking up on a daily basis consistently saying to yourself, I believe I'm going to do this, so therefore I am going to do it? Is the belief enough for you? And is your passion really in what you're doing on a daily basis, right? Show me what you do on a daily basis. Show me how you handle your time on your, when no one's watching, when the camera's not on, and I'll show you exactly where you're going to be.
Absolutely.
And it explains where you are. It's like the data that matches up to the result. What's your data showing? If you're not where you want to be, then you're not putting in the work.
You got to declare it. You got to say it. You got to speak it into existence. The words you declare become the house you live in. If you don't declare it, and if it's in your head, guess what? It's not going to happen. So focus on what you want. Let's start to energize each other, collaborate, reach out to us. We're here to support. We're going to be here bi-weekly. Share with us the topics of your needs, of what your questions are. Perhaps there's, maybe you want to talk about relationships. I know my Seattle people want us to talk about relationships, and not just them, other people as well. So whatever obviously is important to you, this is what we want to bring to you in these shows, live, bi-weekly. We're here for you. And guess what? It's up to you. You got to get it done.
It's all a choice. So starting today, what choice are you going to make? What's going to be the last day of what you were tolerating from this moment on? What are you going to do differently for yourself? If that's not enough for you, what are you going to do differently for others? What are you going to do for your family?
And can you share that hope? I think that has to be the final point. This is a moment where a lot of people are feeling hopeless. And it's not about the money. Some people may think it's about the money. Money is just energy. It's just an exchange. Some people think it's about things. But the reality is that it's about you and me. It's about people. we can make the difference. It's happened in the past. Just think about the most challenging times that you've had in your life and how you've overcome. The strength is already within you. And together we definitely can make a difference. But we don't know what we don't know. So in order to know, guess what? Ask questions, connect with each other, get that certainty, and together we're going to come out of this on the other side, creating the new normal, whatever that may be. I obviously have to think about the movie, Addams Family. There is no normal. So if you're stuck on it, guess what? It's time to release it, because it's like a ball and chain. Oh, I want to go back to the way things were. Oh, I want to go back to the old time religion. Right. It does not exist.
Again, if you're looking backwards, you're just going to crash into a bunch of things because you're not looking forwards. You're not making forward progression. So we'd like to thank you so much for joining with us for our first live stream on our new show. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Joe, we see you there. Thank you for your guidance. We appreciate you. We appreciate you so much, Joe. We can't wait to see you. We know you're going to see you at Prac
soon
at NLP Prac, right? So again, we'll be seeing you guys bi-weekly. We'll put out announcements and we'll post upcoming topics, and that'll give us some time if you guys ever want to bounce some ideas or ask questions or even have us cover certain things within those talks. Then that'll be done. Again, thank you so much for your time. It's been truly a pleasure. We wish you guys, what day of the week is it?
Today is Thursday, my friend.
I was going to say I was going to wish you a great week. In that case, I'm going to wish you a great week.
Some people are in extended weekends because of quarantine, but you know what? That's okay. Visit us at neurostrategiccoach.com. We've got a lot of wonderful programs that we've put on what we call our surplus discounts. Some of them are listed. Some of us, you need to obviously reach out to get the codes. But we definitely want to support you, whether you're a leader, a coach, a pastor, just a housewife, a teacher. Although today, many of us are fulfilling a lot of different roles. Guess what? We're here for you. So let's hold on to hope, because guess what? Without it, you're just going to be reacting. But we are creators. We can cause, we can design. Until next time.
Thank you guys. We'll see you.